Hello everyone, welcome back to the second part of the video. Today I am going to discuss some of the important questions from the paper Women's Writing. So let's start the video. So let us discuss the first question from Amar Jibon by Rasundari Devi. Rasundari Devi's transgressive desires are at the center of her life narration. Discuss. So, Amar Jibon, published in 1876, is an autobiography by Rasundari Devi. It is the first autobiography written by an Indian woman and also the first written by any Bengali. It tells us about the status of women in the 19th century Indian society. Rasundari Devi learned to read and write amid the popular belief of those days that women who gained literacy brought disaster upon their families and were punished by God with widowhood. Not only did she learn to read, but also she decided to record the events and details of her everyday domestic life in a book and got it published. By doing this, she entered the public sphere, which was strictly forbidden to upper class Hindu women. A published work no longer remains private, it enters the public domain where it is open and available for everyone. So, there are three major transgressions that Rasundari Devi commits according to patriarchy: reading, writing, and entering the public sphere. So, the three major transgressive acts that Rasundari had committed and she mentioned in her autobiography are reading, writing, and entering the public sphere, which was strictly forbidden to upper class Hindu women by the patriarchal society. The next question is, what role did religion play in the life of Rasundari Devi? So let me just make it very clear that you have to add introduction to your answers. So that's why I have add the same introduction in the second answer also, which you need to write in every answer. And you can mention about the book in the introduction, who wrote it, when it was published, and little bit about the author and the background of the author and the time in which the book was written. So, Rasundari Devi creates the persona of a bhakt, a devote for herself. She presents all the small and big events of her life as an epitome of God's mercy, Leela, including her access to the written world. Thus, her transgressive act of learning to read becomes an instance of godly intervention and a divine purpose. Rasundari has narrated her story in two ways. On one hand, she writes that God's mercy and benevolence towards her made it possible for her to achieve literacy. On the other hand, she also shows how she has made her own decisions in life by learning to read, despite the fear of family and society. She praises God's Leela but also recounts all her hard work which she has put into learn reading. So, in the autobiography, Rasundari has created a personality of a bhakt for herself, and she presents all the events of her life as God's Leela. She also mentions that if she is reading and writing, it's all because of God. Thus, her transgressive act means crime according to patriarchy, which she has committed by reading, writing, and entering the public domain, is all because of godly intervention and divine purpose. Actually, Rasundari has narrated her story in two ways. On one hand, she says that God mercy and God Leela had helped her to gain literacy. On the other hand, she shows how she has done so much hard work to achieve literacy. On one hand, she praises God's Leela, and on the other hand, she recounts her hard work that she has put into learn reading. The next question is, discuss Amar Jibon as an autobiography. As you can see, I have used the same introduction, so I will not read it again. There are certain features of an autobiography which Rasundari tries to follow in her text, such as first person narrative. So the autobiography was written in the first person narrative. Amar Jibon by Rasundari Devi is an autobiography which portrays her struggle in life in her own words. So in her autobiography, she has portrayed her struggle in her own words. We can also see the chronological order. For instance, in the third composition, we have seen the picture of our author's young age in her parental house. In the fourth composition, she narrates her boat ride to her in-laws' house on account of her marriage. The fifth composition explores her married life and her household work. The sixth composition is about her desire for education. So we can see the chronological order is very much evident here. Another important feature is the record of the autobiographical memories. In the fourth composition, Rasundari Devi speaks about her feeling like a caged bird, which gives dynamic information about herself. Thus, Amar Jibon is extraordinary because it recounts the ordinary life of an Indian woman in 19th century society through her words. So, as we can see, the chronological order is very much evident in her autobiography, which is very important in an autobiography. The chronological order is must in an autobiography. So, as we can see, in the third composition, we have seen the picture of our author's young age in her parents' house. And in the fourth composition, she has narrated her journey to her in-laws' house. And in the fifth composition, she explores her married life. Through her autobiography, we can see her marriage life and her household works. And in the sixth composition, she talks about her desire for education and how she finally entered the public domain by reading and writing and her transgressive acts. So we can see the chronological order from the beginning to the end. And another important feature is biographical memories of the dynamic information about herself, like mm, feeling like a caged bird, caught in a net like a fish, etc. She has given some dynamic information about herself in her autobiography. So these are some of the important questions from the paper Women's Writing. I hope it will be helpful for you all. And also, if you have not watched the previous video, the part 1 of Women's Writing Important Question and Answers, I will link it in the description, and also GU question papers, which will be helpful for you all. So thank you. Do watch my videos and do like, share and subscribe to my channel. Thank you.